About something that I wanted to share with you. The Lord impressed upon me, share about relationship with me.
所以我就来在求神问说要跟你们分享什么，他就去分享跟神的关系。
What is the one key to everything you've learned?
所以说你所学的所有的事情里面，什么是那唯一的关键？
You're not going to be able to remember everything.
你没有办法记得所有的东西。
God has done transformative work in your heart.
神转化了你的心。
And there's still more to do.
依然还有很多要做的。
But what is the key?
但是什么是那关键的钥匙呢？
The key is the presence of God.
那个关键就是神的同在。
The key is your personal relationship with Jesus.
那个关键就是你跟耶稣个人的关
Because you
系。
see, He knows everything.
因为耶稣他知道一切，
He has the power to transform.
是耶稣他有那个能力来
He has
转
the
化，
power to anoint you.
是他有那个能力来恩膏你，
He has the power to lead you forward.
是耶稣有那个能力带领你向前。
And so the most important part of our lives is connecting with Jesus.
所以我们生命中最重要的一部分，就是跟耶稣建立起关
And
联。
I just want to share with you quickly this message of making Jesus the priority of your lives.
我很快的跟你们分享说，让耶稣成为你们生命中最主要的。
I just want to quickly read 3 scriptures to you.
很快来读到3段经文。
The first is Mark chapter 3.
第一个是马可福音3章
And we're going to read verses 13 to 15.
13到15节，马可福音3章13到15节。耶稣上了山，随自己的意思叫人来，他们便到他那里，他就设立12个人，要他们常和自己同在，也要差他们去传道，并给他们权柄赶鬼。
So Jesus went up to the mountain and he called his 12 disciples to him.
所以耶稣上了山，他呼召他的12个门徒跟他在一起。
What was the first reason he called his disciples to himself?
他呼召门徒来到他面前的第一个原因是什么？
What does it say here, Mark 3?
马可福音3章他这里讲到是什么？
It says, first, he called his disciples to be with him.
第一，他呼召他的门徒与他们在一起。
And then, out of that relationship, he sent them out to preach.
然后因着那个关系，他差遣他们出去传道。
But what was the priority for Jesus?
但是耶稣他主要的目的是什么？
Relationship,
一个关系，
love,
爱，
that his disciples would know him,
好让那个门徒可以认识他，
that they would know his heart,
他可以知道耶稣的
that they
心，
would hear his voice,
他可以并听见耶
that they
稣
would
的声
know
音，
his truth,
他会能知道耶稣的那
that
真
they
理，
would be his friends.
所以好让他们成为耶稣的朋友。
That's Jesus' vision for you.
那就是耶稣要给你们的意向。
You see, he didn't call you to himself to be his workers.
耶稣并没有呼召你来到他面前成为他的工
He
人而已，
called you to be his friends,
他呼召你来到他面前是成为他的朋友，
to know him.
来认识他。
And I want to encourage you to make this the priority of your lives.
我要来鼓励你们，让这个成为你生命中最主要的。
Imagine 2 parents.
你来想想一对父母，
A young couple just got married.
一位年轻的夫妇刚结婚，
And the wife comes to the husband and she says,
然后太太来到先生面前说
You know, I'm really tired of doing all the：“ dishes.
你知道吗？真的很厌倦要去洗这些
I'm
碗。
really tired of cleaning the house.
你知道吗？我打扫家里我已经很累了。
And the husband says, Yeah, I'm really tired of cutting the grass.
那先生也说：“我很讨厌除
I'm
草，
tired of taking out the garbage.
我很讨厌把垃圾拿出去丢了。
What are we going to do?
那么我们做什么？
Let's have some kids.
那我们有一些孩子吧，
They can work for us.
他可以为我们来工作，
They can clean the house.
他可以打扫
They
家
can
里，
take out the
他
garbage.
可以把垃圾拿
They
出去
can
丢，
do the dishes.
他们可以来洗碗。
Is that why parents have children?
那就是为什么父母有孩子的原因吗？
Well, maybe some of them.
也许有些父母就是这样，所以有孩子的。
But you see, a couple that is in love have children. Why?
一个相爱的夫妻，他们有孩子，为什么？
So they can love them
所以他们可以来爱他们，
and cherish them
来珍惜他们，
and know them.
来认识他们。
And what's the most important thing to a parent?
对父母而言，最重要的事是什
When
么？
their young child comes into the room,
他们他的年幼孩子进了
what
房
does a
间上，
parent want that child to do?
父母想要那孩子做什么？
To clean up the mess?
就来打扫房间吗？
No.
是的，
What's the heart of a father?
一个父亲的心
What's
是
the
什
heart of a
么？一个
mother?
妈妈的心是什
That
么？
that child will run into their arms,
而是说那孩子会跑向他们的
jump
宝
up
贝，
onto their lap,
跳上他们的腿上，
and be with
跟
them.
他们在一起，
And be with them.
跟他们在一起，
That's what God is like.
那就是神就是这样。
That's what Jesus is like.
那么耶稣也是这样，
That's what he wants from us every day.
这就是耶稣想要我们这生
We
命
get up out of bed
每天早上起床，
and run into his arms
跑向他的宝贝，
and abide in his presence
再进入他的同在
and
里，
hear his voice
听见耶稣的
and know
声音，
his love
来认识耶稣
and
的
live in
爱，
his truth
活在他的真理
so
里，
that he can change us.
好让他可以来改变我们。
That's the goal of your life.
那就是你生命中的目标，
Not pastoring,
不是来牧
not
养，不
evangelism,
是传福音，
not church planting,
不是只为教会来
not praying all the
不是
time,
总是在那边祷告，
but loving
而
Jesus
是说来爱耶稣，
and knowing his love.
来认识耶
Do
稣
you
的
remember when I
爱。
talked about Peter
还记得我谈到彼
and
得
how
吗？
Jesus built the fire for Peter to come?
好了，耶稣怎么样为彼得生
And
活，
they
让
were
他耶
sitting
稣
around the
来。
fire,
Han就
and
坐在那
Jesus
对着
asked
他。
Peter 3 times,
耶稣问彼得3次
Do you love me?：“
你爱我吗
And then what does he say to Peter?？”
然后他对彼得说什么？
Now go and feed my sheep.
那你现在去喂养我的
You
羊。
see, the first thing for Jesus wasn't go feed my sheep.
对耶稣的第一件事情不是去喂养他的羊
The
群，
first thing for Jesus was, Do you love me, Peter?
第一件耶稣问第一个问题是：“彼
Do
得，
you know
你爱我
my
吗
love？”
你知道我的爱吗？
Peter, we're in relationship.
彼得，我们在一个关系里，
That's the goal of your life.
那就是你生命中的目标。
If you've learned anything at the school, let it be that.
如果在学校学到任何东西的话，让这个成为你最主要的，
Be with Jesus.
与耶稣在一起。
Just another scripture, Luke chapter 10,
另外一节经文，路加福音10
saying
章
the same thing.
讲他同样的事。
We're going to start reading at verses 38 and we're going to read to the end of the chapter. Luke 10, starting at 38.
路加福音10章38节到42节，他们走路的时候，耶稣进了一个村庄，有一个女人名叫马大，接他到自己家里。他有一个妹子名叫玛利亚，在耶稣脚前坐着听他的道。马大伺候的事多，心里忙乱，就近前来说：“主啊，我的妹子留下我一个人伺候，你不在意吗？请吩咐她来帮助我。”耶稣回答说：“马大，马大，你为许多的事忧虑烦恼，但是不可少的只有一件。玛利亚已经选择那上好的福分，是不能夺去的。”
So it's the story of Mary and Martha.
这里讲到是马大跟玛利亚的故事。
Jesus comes to their house.
耶稣来到他们的家中，
What does Mary do?
玛利亚在做什么？
She begins to work for Jesus.
他就
Martha, I mean. Martha begins to work for Jesus.
马大就
Thank
开
you.
始在为耶稣来工
That's a
作。
good translator. And she runs around the house cleaning up,
他就在家里很忙的打
making
扫，
lunch,
然后煮午餐，
and Jesus is in the other room.
然后耶稣在另外一个房
What's
间。
Mary doing?
玛利亚在做什么？
Sitting at his feet.
坐在他的脚边。
What does Martha say?
马大说什么？
Jesus,
耶稣啊，
look at my sister.
那我妹妹，
She's doing nothing.
她什么都没有
She's
做，
irresponsible.
她都不负责。
Tell her to get up
告诉她起来，
and help me.
来帮助我。
And what does Jesus say?
耶稣说什么？
Jesus basically says,
耶稣基本上说
no.
不行。
He says, Mary has chosen the better thing.
他说玛利亚已经选择上好的事，
And then Jesus says, only a few things are important.
然后耶稣说只有几件事是重要的，
He then says, indeed, only one thing is important.
然后他说事实上只有一件事情才是
And
重要的。
Mary has chosen the one thing.
玛利亚选择了那一件事，
And listen to this.
然后来这样听，
Listen to this.
这样听，
And it will not be taken from her.
这个是不会从他生命中被挪走，
It will not be taken from her.
不会从他生命中被夺走，
Everything else you will lose.
一切你都会失去，
Except Jesus.
除了耶稣，
Except his love.
除了他的爱，
Except his presence.
除了他的同在以外。
You see, Martha knew how to work for Jesus.
那马大知道如何为耶稣来
Mary
工
knew
作，
how to be with Jesus.
玛利亚知道如何与耶稣在一起。
Is hard work a bad thing?
努力工作是不好事吗？
No, hard work's a good thing.
努力工作是好的，
Working for Jesus is a good thing.
为耶稣来做事情也是好的，
But it's not the best thing.
但不是最好的。
The best thing is being with Jesus.